live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls on 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, 876 922 4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 876 365 Let's continue on your program, Both Sides of the Story for 106 FM. As we greet those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Call 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those And we look forward to your keeping in touch with. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Those of you on YouTube, you should be receiving us much better now. Let's just check on your behalf, those who are following us on YouTube. And I know you're going to see 3 videos with me in this black and blue shirt, but it's the last one, the current one, the most recent one. There you go. And the quality is back. So, YouTube viewers, you're up and running again. Thank you very much for your patience and understanding. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We usually like to bring you up to speed with developments in the news at home and abroad, and we'll do a bit of that right now, even as we prepare for your calls on whatever is on your mind, whatever is the subject. We look forward to your participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The Gleaner, the new Gleaner app is taking a while to load. And as it loads, here we go. But we're still seeing yesterday's stories. Not sure why that is so. But it's been an issue with the. In fact, let's just go to the. Well, let's take the break and come back in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
The Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-Swift, is moving to make cross-border trading easier for imports and exports. Effective March 1, 2021, all importers of plant and plant products must use the J-Swift online platform to apply for their import permits from the Plant Quarantine and Produce Inspection Branch at the Ministry of Agriculture. J-Swift will improve accessibility to cross-border trade services, reduce paper-based and manual transactions, reduce processing time, and accelerate the release of commodities. Jamaica's Single Window for Trade, bridging the gap, opening your window to trade.
The RJR Gleaner Communications Group Special Women's Day book celebrating 60 distinguished Jamaican women. Available now. Purchase your copy today at the Gleaner Library, 7 North Street in Kingston, the Gleaner Western Bureau, 23 Orange Street, Montego Bay, and the RJR Gleaner Gift Shop at 32 Lyndhurst Road. And with every purchase of 3 or more copies at the Gleaner Library, you have a chance to win 6-month subscription to the Gleaner Premium. Jamaican women of distinction, holding up more than half the sky.
Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, here on Power 106 FM.
Welcome to those who have joined us since the last time we checked. Thank you very much for making it Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Faye Weller. She says, blessed love to all. May the peace of God be with you all. Keep up the good work, Mr. Dervan. Golden Brown says, blessings teach to you too, Golden Brown. Please tell about online. Please tell about online. Half the time, my children say there are no teachers. I am referring to Rossi's High. What's that? Half of the time, my children say there are no teachers.
I'm referring to Rosie's. Hi. Uh, Give us a little more golden brown. I'm not sure if you were the one who sent us a message in relation to teachers. Would I be able to retrieve that message? No. Uh, I can't. Going down. I think someone wanted us to speak on the subject. I want to find the message. The subject of teachers being paid and not doing any work, or words to that effect. Somebody had sent us a message. Uh, uh, I'm not seeing it now, but I'm wondering if it's related to the message that Golden Brown sent. Let's see. Let's try and do a quick search for that message. Let's see this. Is it this one? No. All right, if we come across that message, but I thought it was the same. I thought it was the same person who had sent it, just wanting to get a discussion going on the subject of teachers on. All right, if we come across that message again, we will share it. In the meantime, though, let's say good afternoon to Angela in Toronto, Canada. Sophia Nemard, hello to you. Thank you for tuning in. On our WhatsApp platform, quite a few messages. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Why aren't, I think you mean anybody, monitoring the stories and to make sure the stores, monitoring the stores and to make sure there are only 10 customers can go in the space at any given time? Well, it's not necessarily as you're putting it. There's a consideration with respect to the size of the store. Depending on the size of the store or the supermarket or the church, you would be able to accommodate more than 10 people. So the size of the location would have something to do with it. Another message, good afternoon, teacher. At class today, it's sunny, windy, and cool. A bit dry, though. I went out today. I wore a double mask. 90% wore masks, 10 didn't. Not good enough. I won't be deterred. Mask, sanitizer, distance, and behavior for me. Thank you for your message. Another one. Now, this person wasn't paying attention yesterday afternoon because we're getting the same question from yesterday. Hello, can you answer and tell me? It's called Memorable Essay. Memorable Essay. That's the name of the entity. Memorable Essay. You can ask your son, or is it your son? One of the young people around you to Google Memorable Essay, and you'll find the information. We did spend some time explaining how that worked yesterday, but you obviously weren't listening yesterday, even though the message was sent yesterday. Sorry about that. Catch us on the fly as it goes. Let's go to another of the messages. Kada Lee and family saying, Happy Peace Day, Uncle Dervan, from Kada. And another message from Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. Someone has sent us a voice note here as well. We'll come back to that. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and your listeners. Another icon has passed, the great Bunny Wailer. Condolences to his family and associates. May his soul rest in peace. Clarky Bless, Huntstown, St. Mary. Thank you, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, good afternoon to you. And thanks for joining us. Another message on the WhatsApp platform. Hello, good day, Mr. Dervan. Good day, Jamaica. Just saying hello to everyone. It's love I'm sending as always. Oh, this is Lloyd, who lives in Philadelphia in the United States, but spends most of his time, it would seem, trekking across the United States of America, making deliveries courtesy of Amazon. So he says, hello to Uncle Radcliffe Lewis, love and respect, straight up. Bobo, Staley Paul, Bigger Roy, firm business to you all. Love you, Mr. Dervan, and please stay safe. Mr. Dervan, I'm now in Missouri, waiting to get Missouri loaded. Don't know where to as yet, Sir D, but I'm ready to go wherever they have in mine eyes. One love, that's all I'm supporting. Love and supporting love right now, Mr. Dervan, and love forever, always. Uncle Radcliffe Lewis, love to the sky and back. I know you are hearing Mr. Dervan right now. Mr. Dervan, can you please check out this voicemail? I think you mean voice note from my sister Anne-Marie Berry. We'll listen to the voice note off air before. Thank you very much, Lloyd. Another message. Good day. Wow. Was just on the street in Ocho Rios. There was a loudspeaker advertising business. Sir D went to St. Anne's Bay tax office. At least 135 people outside and inside. OML, as in, oh my Lord. Social distance is nowhere there. Burial ground much, much larger at least. The people could spread out. Prime Minister and his advisors need to think. People are mourning their dead. I am so sad. Thanks for your message. Thank you so much, says the person who wanted information on memorable essay. Happy to oblige. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Mr. Sir Malcolm. Happy Peace Day and my deepest condolences to the family of Bunny Wailer, the Don Daddy, SIP. Thank you very much for your many messages, which are still popping up. And we'll do our best to continue clearing them as the program progresses. In the meantime, let's bring you up to speed with the current news stories, which you may or may not have heard. The Ministry of Health and Wellness today outlined details of its vaccination plan as Jamaica prepares for the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines. The government is seeking to get 3.5 million doses of vaccines, which will be used to inoculate 65% of the population. Some 50,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine are expected to arrive in Jamaica on Thursday. Here is the priority for COVID-19 vaccination. Phase 1 priority. Government officials, 5,599 of them. That's how many government officials we have. Healthcare workers, 15,987. The elderly, 60 years and over, 174,987. The Jamaica Defense Force, 10,046. The Jamaica Fire Brigade, 4,000. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, 15,021. People who work in early childhood, primary and secondary education institutions, 11,832. The Department of Correctional Services, 9,667. The Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, 650. Total, 247,789 vaccines to be administered in phase 1 of the priority groups. Phase 2, essential for economic activity. Other public sector workers, 71,500. Hotel workers, 175,500. Transport sector, 56,550. Manufacturing sector, 82,550. The banking sector, 56,550. The agricultural sector, 67,250. Total, 509,900. So the government is expecting to vaccinate 509,900 people in phase 2 under the category essential for economic activity. And then there's phase 3. General population 1, 74,000. General population 2, 126,500. General population 3, 156,500. General population 4, 228,000. General population 5, 71,500. General population 6, 126,500. General population 7, same figure, 126,500. General population 8, 209,000. Total, 1,118,500 vaccinations. The question is, how many of these people we plan to vaccinate are going to present themselves for vaccination, as opposed to those who will be speaking like Johan Blake? One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. I said that twice, I know. Good afternoon to those who have just joined us. We were sharing with you just before the break, the details from the Health Ministry's COVID-19 vaccination rollout plan. And we were making the point that it's a function of whether you're going, I'm trying to think, which athlete has said yes to the vaccine? Has publicly, I'm trying to remember who said yes. So it depends on which side people fall, whether these vaccines are going to stay on the refrigerator or in the refrigerator or in refrigeration, as opposed to being administered. Hope it's not a case of water more than flour, as my late mother would say. Appointment system. The Health Ministry says a public call will be made for people to make an appointment based on their priority group. Persons should apply for an appointment 5 days before their desired date. Persons will be required to provide age, date of birth, area of work, comorbidity. In other words, do you have any existing condition like diabetes? What's the other one? Diabetes, hypertension, heart problems, any of those? Do you have an allergy or allergies? In other words, are you one of those at springtime who has sinus problems due to your allergies, which are set off by the pollens from the plants? What's your address? What's your venue of choice for vaccination? What's your telephone number? What's your email address? How do you make an appointment? By calling the Ministry of Health's call center, 888-663-5683. 888-663-5683. You can call any parish health department. Appointments can be made on the websites of the Ministry of Health or regional health authorities. You can visit any health department. A daily vaccination schedule will be made available. People will get a notification 3 days before their appointment with information such as date, time, and venue. A second appointment will be made for the second dose of the vaccine. Vaccination centers, major locations that can vaccinate at least 1,000 people per day. At least one site per parish, with larger parishes having up to 3 sites. Logistics for these sites will be managed by the JDF. Yeah, the JDF is usually good when it comes to logistics, part of their training. Sites will be operated on weekends, i.e. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There will be 56 vaccination centers for both phases 1 and 2. There will be 19 facilities for phase 3. For phase 1, vaccines will be administered between March and June, 3,720 daily. These are some confident numbers here. Let's see. Phase 3, because it's a classic case of taking the horse to the well, but not being able to force the horse to drink. But we really wish that the health team all the very best. Some very ambitious numbers here. Let's see. For phase 3, doses will be given between August 2021 to March 2022, 19,000 daily. When getting vaccinated, step 1, registration. A temperature check is done before entry. The patient is checked for an appointment and national ID and work ID. If no appointment, the person will be asked to make an appointment. The patient will be allowed to sign the register. The patient will then be directed to the waiting area. The vaccination card will then be populated. In other words, they'll fill in the blanks on the vaccination card. Step 2, counseling. Counseling sessions done in batches of 10 patients at a time. Counseling sessions will include brochures. Counselors will also support the question and answer sessions before testing. Step 3, vaccine administration. Verification of health status. Then you are counseled. Then you are vaccinated. The nurse will then sign the vaccination card. Step 4, observation. People are observed for 15 minutes. Yes, I know what that is like. Like when I used to give blood. Haven't done that in a while. That's not good, eh? We need to get back to giving blood. But you were told not just to stay where you were for a little while. Because for some people, it can be a bit dizzying if you don't allow the elements of the body, the cells, to settle down once again, to move beyond your just having given blood. So, yeah, it's a similar, well, not similar, but the idea is the same, where there's an observation period after the vaccine would have been administered. After you would have been vaccinated, there's an observation period. People are observed for 15 minutes for negative response to the vaccine. So they within that 15-minute window, they'll be able to see and say what's wrong or not wrong, etc. And people with severe prior allergic reaction will be observed for 30 minutes. So if your record shows that you, meaning from the days as a baby and otherwise, and coming up with all the vaccines that you would have taken, how your body would have reacted if there's a history of prior allergic reaction, then they will observe you for 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes. Resuscitation services will be at hand, transport if necessary, and then step 5, documentation. Registration form submitted, vaccination card issued, appointment for second dose is made. So this is one of those vaccines where you're going to get a second dose, unlike Johnson & Johnson, where it's just one dose, and the efficacy is anywhere between 65 and 70% in terms of its effectiveness. Let's see. And appointment for second dose made. Minimum wait time 35 minutes, maximum wait time 52 minutes. So this is the Ministry of Health and Wellness coming out of today's COVID-19 vaccination rollout plan press conference, giving us an idea of what the experience will be like and trying to get this information out early. I suspect they wanted to do it on Thursday, but Dion Jackson Miller would have none of it. So the Prime Minister then and there said to Dr. Tufton, Dr. Tufton, can you go ahead and release the information, because Dion couldn't wait for Thursday. So she had it yesterday. She had the document, tearing it apart on Beyond the Headlines yesterday. So it is. But anyway, I suspect, though, why they wanted to do it on Thursday, because the 50,000 vaccines from India should arrive in the island on Thursday. So they wanted to use the occasion of the arrival of the vaccines. You know how it is, photo opportunity and all. So anyway, Jackson Miller would have none of it. Prime Minister said, Dr. Tufton, can you go ahead and release the information tomorrow, as in yesterday. So anyway, yes, indeed. Jamaica is in the top 5 for freedom of the press. Yeah, that's quite a reputation to protect. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. So that's the main story. The Health Ministry outlining COVID-19 vaccination rollout plan. Cop in viral video interdicted. I'm not sure which video that is. A policeman seen in a viral video in a compromising position has been interdicted with immediate effect. The directive was issued by Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson. The police say the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau have launched an investigation into the activities captured on the video. They say more information will be made available. So they're not giving more. I guess those who would have seen the viral police video would know what that is about. I don't, because I didn't see the video. Grange Golding paid tribute to Bunny Wailer. We shared that with you earlier on, that Bunny Wailer died earlier today. He was 73. The government and the opposition have been paying tribute to the late Bunny Wailer, who passed away today at age 73. His real name, Neville O'Reilly Livingston. Look out for that question on Schools Challenge quiz. Not because I have anything to do with it, but it usually, it's likely to appear. Other stories trending in the Gleaner. Jamaica has lost a pioneer in reggae, says Prime Minister Holness in reference to Bunny Wailer. U.S. sets sanctions over Russia, opposition leaders poisoning. 7 more COVID-19 deaths, 239 new cases, and those numbers not looking good at all. Here are some messages coming through on YouTube. Maureen Evans says, bless up yourself, Mr. Malcolm. Wish there was more people like you in this world. Good afternoon and welcome again. That's kind of you to say. Kelvin Lee Vision says, afternoon, teacher. A blessing just to hear the no. Okay. Hello to you. The knowledge you provide. Oh, the knowledge you provide weekly. Good afternoon, Sir Dervan. You have got another blue shirt. LOL. That's Rose McIntosh. Yes. Found another blue shirt for Peace Day today. Wore a blue one yesterday too. Blessings, all YouTubers everywhere, says Rose in London. Kevin Dunk says, be nice to have someone question the 500,000 public officials. I didn't say 500,000. Hold on. Is that what I read? Hold on. Let's go back. It's not 500,000. 5,599 government officials. 5,599 government officials. Let me see if that figure that you have given popped up anywhere. Oops. Power. Let's make another adjustment here. We are taking care of the technology. We just lost our viewers on Facebook Live. Sorry about that. We're going to bring you back up in just a moment. These batteries don't last forever, especially if you don't keep charging them. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Let there be peace on earth.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
With me, let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon to Kevin Dunk. He asks, no mobile sites. There are, you misread the numbers or misheard the numbers there, Kevin Dunk. We cleared that up. Raymond, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much. Kevin Dunk says, I stand corrected, Mr. Malcolm, on my previous post. Sorry to misquote you. You're doing an awesome job. You're very kind, Kevin. Rose in London says, Amen, Amen. And there are tons of other messages on the previous Facebook Live stream, which we're going to clear right now. From Golden Brown was saying that half the time teachers are not online or they are late. That's a complaint from Golden Brown. With respect to online learning. Tuning in from Rotten Island, Honduras, Dwayne Bodden. Thank you, Dwayne Bodden. All the best to you and those on Rotten Island in Honduras. Jennifer Stewart, Q Road, Kencott. Good afternoon. Mobile Hughes says, good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm. Please wish me and husband Linford Hughes happy 28th anniversary. Happy 28th anniversary, Mobile Linford and Mobile Hughes. Happy 28th anniversary. You know what they say? And the two shall become one and spend the rest of their lives trying to figure out which one. And if you and your wife have a dispute, the solution is simple. Let her go her way and you go hers. You can't lose. Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis says, greetings, Sir D. And she goes biblical on us. She says, if it is possible, live at peace with all men. We continue to pray for peace for our little beloved island, Jamaica. Thank you, Dr. Rose, for your message. And I think Dr. Rose gave me some homework. Let me see if I'm on top of that. Let's just check. Right. I think we're still on target, Dr. Rose. Thank you very much. Or Jajo Karaza says, blessed love, Mr. Malcolm. To you too, or Jajo Karaza. Steve in Toronto, Canada says, Dervan, government officials should not be amongst the first set. It should be health officials, 75 and above, security forces, 60 to 74, and then the others, government officials, including public sector. He says, Dervan, we need to do more to hold the government accountable. Kudos to her, and that's in reference to Dion Jackson Miller. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut asks, is it me or the program is acting up? It's not you, Inez Campbell Brown, not you at all. Greetings to Mr. Wayne C. Golding Sr., Esquire, CD, Commander of the Order of Distinction, discretionary member of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. He says it's always good to hear and see you. Likewise, Wayne Golding. All things being well, we'll catch you and Lady D on the weekend on CAC Radio WOKB 1680 AM, originating in Orlando, Florida, on your Global Diaspora show. Ludlow Barker is online. Good afternoon, Ludlow Barker. Thank you very much for your kind greeting. The winningest basketball coach in Jamaica, Ludlow Barker. Inez Campbell Brown, yes, we did answer your question. No, it's not you. It's just that we sometimes get so excited about starting the live stream and making sure you, our faithful listeners and viewers, are plugged in and turned on and ready and okay, and the audio is fine. And we forget to plug in the power, the power cable to the device. And the next thing you know, the device just goes. What's the expression? Bops, the power gone. That's the expression, right? So that's what happened. But thank you for rejoining us. We always feel like we're on the family veranda or the family sitting room or on the family lawn on this program. And we're talking about life and family and friends and country and whatever is happening around us. And it's one big family of Jamaicans and some friends of Jamaica in this space all over the world. And it's a great feeling to be able to pull us together. What does the song say? Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. Here are some more greetings. Don Marie Smith, good afternoon to you too. Shines for Life says, blessed love. Afternoon, Uncle D. To you too, Shines for Life. Sky Lawson, good afternoon. Welcome. Luther Graham says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan. As always, you're on top with your teachings. Keep up the good work. You're very kind, Luther Graham. Thank you. Monique Green, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. And Inez Campbell Brown is hitting us up multiple times on Facebook Live, just making sure she is connected. We need to properly label this second video so you're not confused. And I believe we need to do the same on YouTube as well. We might not get around to doing that right now. Let's go to the WhatsApp line. We haven't touched that one in a little while, have we? Let's see. This one says, pleasant day to you. Hope all good in your favor. 3 questions to ask. Why every time OUR grant JPS and water people raise, they are not in our interest. We keep paying more and more and not even getting good service. Trees not cutting down from light and power lines, etc. 2, why business places have to open 9 o'clock in the mornings? Those times to cut or those times, I think you're suggesting it's time to change those hours. Fast moving times, 9:10, day done. By 8, to me, all business places should open. Well, this is something we have talked about, and we talked about it before COVID-19 on numerous occasions. We felt that our businesses, too many of our businesses in Jamaica open late, and late is relative, we know. But if you open at 9, you're late. If you open at 10, you're late. If you're open at 11 o'clock, you're late. You're not helping the productivity levels in this country, actually, because the person who has sent us the message has a point. By the time you get to 10 o'clock, the work day is virtually over, in a manner of speaking. I know we're exaggerating, but you get the point. There are those of us who would love to be able to do our business early. Mind you, I think the curfew shouldn't be too much of a problem, because by 5 o'clock we can move about again. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we have always had a problem in this country with businesses that open later than 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, there are different businesses. There are some businesses that are not suited to early morning opening, for example, because they don't serve breakfast. It's not a restaurant, for example. And then there are those Yeah, York Pharmacy caught the vision years ago. York Pharmacy, they caught the vision because we had been calling as well for more of our businesses, for example, to open 24 hours a day. Now we know people say, Lord, them afraid because them the hours where them members of staff and some of them have to go back to certain communities and this. Well, we have to fix that. We have to fix that because it would benefit the economy more if we were to have 3 8-hour shifts in Jamaica. 3 8-hour shifts. For example, 6 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 6. 3 8-hour shifts. Because there are certain machines, state-of-the-art machines. It doesn't suit the operators to shut down those machines. The process is more efficient to have the machines running for a certain period of time. These are some of the things we have to change the way we have been doing business in this country. And if COVID-19 has not pointed us in that direction, then we kind of dark, as my late mother would say. Really and truly, we can't do things the same way we have been doing them. All of that is out the window now. We have to, as we say in Jamaica, dash with that. Sometimes the artists do that on stage and they're singing with with tracks. Dash with that. Let's come back after the break.
Let peace begin with me. Let this
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:15.
Tune into Farm Talk 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Sand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Sand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Sand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions is brought to you by Newport First Sand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
with God as our Father.
It's Peace Day in Jamaica. Thank you, Jamaica. Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Rose McIntosh is having a good laugh, and Kevin Dunk says, kudos to your YouTube feed. The graphics and the sound are awesome. And it's awesome to hear you say that. Thank you very much. Thank you. We try. We try. And if you like it that much, then go ahead and like the Dervan Malcolm channel and post your comments and subscribe to the channel so that we can, I don't know when we'll get to 1,000, at least 1,000 subscribers. You see, the day will come, no doubt, all things being well, when we'll be back on the road again, in a manner of speaking. That day will come. Now, hopefully, we have more than 1,000 subscribers by then so that we can take you on the road with us. If not, then it means once we're on the road, well, you're not going to be going to be left at sea, so to speak, because at least we would still have the Facebook live stream running. But if you want to come with us on the road, you'll have to help us to increase the subscription from 425, which is where we are now, 425 subscribers. We need your help to drive those numbers up, and we look forward to your support. Let's see. Rose McIntosh says, yeah. Kevin Dunk says, I'm number 4. Like, yay. All right. Thank you for your message. Let's go to the WhatsApp line. Raskava is on the line. He is joining us to tell us how he has been promoting peace every single day of his life, and him and nobody no in a nothing, and 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 all the other good things that he has been doing to maintain the peace, right, Raskava?
So true, you know, it has become a whole now. Cause I mean, I do so much peace is already, so that's complete a whole circle now.
I see. What's
Just like
happening?
his dreams. But you know, and not so casual note, I just love to heal up all the ones who know Bunny Wheeler and his immediate family and fans, you know, just to stay strong. Allow him to tread because, you know, he has done his work and it's time for him to get his rest. So, safe tread, Bunny. It's sad, but, you know, we can live by his music and his messages that he has left with us.
Yes, indeed. We join you in conveying words of comfort and encouragement to those who are mourning the passing of the late Bunny Wheeler.
Yeah, man. I'm not affiliate, you know, too early. I'm too early. I don't understand that.
73 is young, isn't it? These days.
Yeah. 37.
Yeah.
Even when I got a call in just about when the program with that seal up, you know, just to tell you that I did get a call from
Andrew Cannon?
No, not sure, but a rep from the Nathan Water Commission trying to find where the place is, although I explain it. However, I tell them, I call them forward, them say yes, them find the place, but it needs a backhoe. Until now, we don't see someone there, whether or not.
I thought you were going to say a forward hoe, but anyway, go ahead.
That's a quote them. Well, so then, you know, I cannot take Mr. Callum if they need to send a tractor. That Mapen can have one to do the work. I water did it for months and months. I run a go in a brethren and me have to pay feet. So do you?
Yeah, I'm shocked to hear that though, because we know the water problems we have in this country. We can't afford to be wasting water.
Right, just running and make mosquito breeding place and bush up in the sidewalk or the road. You know, and I don't know, but you cannot have the capital of the parish. You don't have the necessary equipment and tools to do work. I cannot see that. You know, see, if one broke down, you send to one from head office while that they want to fix.
Right.
Rather than just have the thing this stay there and it now not get nothing done until that they come back on road again.
Exactly.
Also, you know, give thanks to the people and does respond to you promptly. But, you know, that's all they did. And the work is still left undone. So,
no, that's not good. We need to follow up on that.
All right, so give thanks. Look at it.
All right. I see you have a big fan, you know, Rose McIntosh in London. She says,
I don't have a daughter named Rose, you know. Rose.
Yes. Rose McIntosh says, I love this Raskava. You and Dervan. So.
Okay. Well, you know, not the least that we can do for the community, you know. I waste so much time going to go sit on a giant line just to report a leak.
Yeah.
And I don't see that you should have a box that you drop reports, you know, or just tell the cashier and she log it.
Or a WhatsApp line. So everybody should be on WhatsApp now.
Right.
And you, once that message comes in to say water running at Water Street, whoever is responsible for dispatching people to solve those problems, then from that WhatsApp to another WhatsApp in Maypen, Clarendon, for example, and they move into action right away. We have to.
Yeah, because, you know, water is life. They have a ear valve on a big main, you know, where the ear kind of release from it periodically.
Yeah.
And it's quite a lot of leaking on people from a giant community. They go under the bridge and use it as shower, you know.
Uh-oh.
And me say me go there tell the man, me say me go join the line. We about 20 odd people to them if we go join the line. Mr. Virgin just put a report of a leak and me gone again. Go join it. The Virgin me sorry but me never go. That they did it. And me still have to go forward there again. We go tell them. When they tell the security, they have to do jot it down on a piece of paper and hand it to the relevant ones them. You have to go join line when they never accept you have the time to wait that long.
Yeah.
Flappy man, you then can't deal with emergency like that.
Mm-mm.
So, man, but give thanks that you did make the call and at least they can't say they don't know about it now.
Exactly. But we'll still follow up. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Who is this now? Kevin Dunk says the casualty of crime and the perception of being a victim of crime is such a common denominator to progress, even with regard to what time businesses are open. Yeah, absolutely. Rose McIntosh says, yay. Kevin Dunk says, I'm number 4. Yes, I read that already. Carlene Chambers Choir says, hi, Dervan. A peaceful day to you and listeners. I asked you to get someone to discuss the matter of teachers' file being missing at the Ministry of Education, but have not heard you address it. Well, that clearly is a matter to be investigated. That's serious. And one would start with whoever you would have gone to at the Ministry of Education, who would have told you that a file is not available or a file is missing, must report to somebody. So you want to go up the chain now and find ask to be directed to that individual's superior, for want of another term. And if you're still not satisfied after that, then take it up a step further. And if all else fails at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, take the matter to the Office of the Public Defender. The Public Defender stands between the state and the people, or the government and the people. The Public Defender is there to ensure, to ward off government excesses and other forms of breaches deleterious to the well-being and welfare of the people of this country. So you have options, Carlene Chambers Squire. Rose Hewlett Smith says, hi, Dervan. Good to see you at last. I listen to you every day. This is Hewlett from Ocho Rios. Welcome, Hewlett from Ocho Rios. Herman Hyatt says, hi, Dervan. Pleasant evening. Good afternoon to you. She says, enjoying the program. Very enlightening. Well, we thank you very much for your message. Thank you. What time is it? Coming up to Kids Connect. Stand by for that. Let's get in a call before Kids Connect at 3:30. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm just here in the sun taking some vitamin C.
Is it C or D?
Listen now, Mr. Malcolm. I just want to shape a few words with you regards to crime and violence. What they said that you can't have any state of emergency again. There's a judge rule on it.
No, sir. Nobody can stop if the state feels threatened in keeping with what the Constitution provides. The state can act. In fact, the state would be negligent not to act. And there are some other terms that could be used to describe a state. But of course, if there is an emergency, the state has to act. You can
What?
you can always deal with the matter, deal with whatever other technical matters after that. But there are enough provisions as it stands right now for the state to act in the face of an emergency.
Oh, because I heard that there's a justice site that rules that something is unconstitutional or something of the sort.
Well, unconstitutional to hold some Jamaicans for a considerable amount of time without any charge at all, just holding them for that period of time. That is serious. That is egregious. But outside of that, the government is obligated to act in the event of a situation that is regarded as an emergency, a public emergency.
Because as a taxpayer and a registered voter, I believe that the judges in this country, each judge can use their own discretion. So I think that if it go to the Privy Council, it's going to benefit us. Because listen, Mr. Malcolm, Jamaica is a hiding place for criminal elements.
No,
Right?
no, wouldn't go that far. That is to suggest that
You can hide here
that
for a
is to
long time.
suggest that terrorists from all over the world are hiding in Jamaica, not least of all the homegrown ones. No, it's we're not there yet. One moment. In fact, we'll have to leave it there because we have a feature coming up now. Thanks
Okay,
for the
Mr.
call.
Malcolm, thank you for that.
All the best.
Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
The Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT, is moving to make cross-border trading easier for imports and exports. Effective March 1, 2021, all importers of plant and plant products must use the J-SWIFT online platform to apply for their import permits from the Plant Quarantine and Produce Inspection Branch at the Ministry of Agriculture. J-SWIFT will improve accessibility to cross-border trade services, reduce paper-based and manual transactions, reduce processing time, and accelerate the release of commodities. Jamaica's Single Window for Trade, bridging the gap, opening your window to trade.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my
It's Peace Day, a Tuesday afternoon just after 3:30. And that means time for Kids Connect. And we're connecting this afternoon with the principal of Marcus Garvey Technical High School, Mrs. Aniona Jones. Good afternoon to you, Mrs. Jones. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. One of the things we've been doing as often as we can these days and as persons are available is getting a sense of how students and faculty are coping across the country in the quest for an education, in notwithstanding the encumbrances of COVID-19 and related matters. And we're delighted that you have accepted our invitation to join us on this afternoon's edition of Kids Connect to give us a sense of how the children, how the students at Marcus Garvey Technical High School in St. Anne have been doing since the onset of COVID-19. What's your assessment?
Thank you so much for the invitation to be on the program to just share another perspective of what's happening behind those walls of an institution, virtual though they may be in this new norm. Marcus Garvey Technical High School, for some context to our listeners, has two campuses. Our junior campus is in Ocheria, and our senior campus is in St. Anne's.
Well, I learned something new today. I had no idea. I usually pass the one by the roundabout there.
St. Anne's Bay, that's our senior campus.
Oh.
So we actually separate our lower school from our upper school in the physical space, and we deploy our teachers accordingly. So when we moved March 12th of last year into the virtual space, there was still that measure of separation that we had to tackle. We also started in 2018 for the very first time a post-secondary unit. We were launching now into sixth form. So essentially we run 3 schools that we have to monitor as we deliver instruction. I am finding for the most part that our upper grades are taking more to the virtual learning, though they hate it. Our grade 11 students are saying, Miss, this is an unnatural way to learn. We don't mind looking at a screen all day if we are Netflixing and chilling, but we really don't want to learn looking at a screen all day. There's something about the energy in a classroom, the engagement with the teacher and their colleagues, because a child learns as much from the content delivered as the context of delivery. So the children really don't like it.
Yes.
Nevertheless,
yes,
we do have a 20 to 25% of our population who are functioning really well, meaning they're completing their assignments, they're doing projects, they're getting creative, they're doing school-based assessments online. So for instance, we have some grade 10 students who cook Sunday dinner. They video themselves, take their pictures, and that is their school-based assessment because they can't be at school to cook in the kitchen. So they do it at home.
Well, I'm so excited to hear that because this is what learning is about. It's not limited, and it should never, ever be seen as limited to having the head buried in the book and seated at a desk and chair for a certain... Yeah, I'm loving this. Please continue.
The other thing that we did was that we really thought about who our students are more than the what they are to learn. We do get each year students who come into high school with significant learning deficits in the content, not their ability to learn. So we recognize that of our 400 incoming grade 7s, we had 73 students reading below grade 3 level. There is no way that we could have opened the grade 7 curriculum and started teaching from September of grade 7. So the team came together and we decided that what we needed to do was to use more of a project-based approach. We needed to minimize the screen time. So where many schools were able to, and God bless them, have school from 7:45 until 3 in the afternoon, we decided no, it was not going to work for us. So we only had class for 4 hours each day. No longer than 40 minutes and with breaks in between. So what this allowed for the children to do was to wash plates, get up and to walk, sleep somewhere. Their mom may call them to say, you didn't spread your bed, come out of the class and spread your bed, which is our reality. So the frequent breaks would have allowed them to not only move, because we do have many kinesthetic learners, kids who learn by doing, but also to respond to the reality of their environment. The other thing too is that we do have about 38% of our population that are in households that share a device. So when someone only has to wait for a few hours until it's their turn to use the phone or their turn to use the tablet, it's allowed for the children to still be on time for at least portions of the day. The teachers who have children too, we were very conscious of that. And so what we did was in reducing the number of hours online, Dervan, we also thought about the guilt that some of our teachers were feeling where they were putting out so much for other people's children and their own children were falling behind.
Uh-oh.
So when class ended at 12:30, they got a chance to have something to eat, put some data in, mark some lesson plans, but also step into their own children's classes, see what was happening with their own children. Because if a teacher isn't happy, they're going to eat the children. And so we didn't want that. So we really thought about all of those things as we designed this online space. We reduced homework because the homework was not working for us. So we did as much as we could with the kids in front of us. And then we created fun activities. Go outside, for example, and create an exercise video on TikTok for physical education. A music video, a poster, send a voice note explaining something rather than only writing it to take a picture to hand it in to the teacher. These are some of the things that we did. We also allowed parents to be a part of some classes. We had to do a whole ton of training to be able to just get parents, older brothers, sisters, members of the church involved. Thank you so much to the Brownstown Methodist Church, to Life Tabernacle in St. Anthony. They opened their doors and we had bought some tablets, and they allowed teachers to go into the church hall with the tablets and for kids to come in small groups and use the tablet because they had none to use at home. So these are some of the things that we're finding that we're doing. One major thing, though, I want to point out to you, we are refusing to compromise quality of competence in the skills area. So we use a blended approach in the upper grades. And we've been doing this from December of last year, where our older students do come on faculty and they still do their practical activities under the supervision of trained, licensed, skilled professionals. We just had 25 leaving Negril on Sunday, actually, where they did about 150 hours in the hospitality industry, where they were running the hotel for the Somerset Training School in Negril, front office, housekeeping, landscaping, front office, kitchen duties, all of these things. Because if we are going to say that you are certified with an associate degree, you must be competent in the demonstration of those skills, COVID or no COVID. So we've had to blend what we've been doing.
Sounds like a lot of work. What about the infrastructure, the environment? How much retrofitting and right sizing had to be done for COVID-19, or did you have that covered?
Oh, we had a lot that we had to do, and this is where teamwork was very important. We started sixth form with no additional teachers. We had to transition into the online space with no additional teachers. As I told you, we do run 2 campuses, and the overall maintenance grant is about $500,000, or ICT grant is about $500,000 a year for 2 physical schools. So we really had to get very creative in terms of how we were doing what we were doing. And let's not forget, Dervan, we all thought we would be going back in September.
Yes.
So we spent a couple $1 million putting in about 42 additional hand washing spaces. We spent $2.1 million retrofitting our bathrooms. We spent an additional $462,000 creating outdoor waiting spaces to ensure that persons could be kept safe. And then, of course, we could not go back face to face at that time. Our junior campus remains closed. What we do know, however, is that based on the retrofitting that needed to get done, all our campuses have their own isolation spaces with bathrooms attached, close enough for vehicular access from an ambulance just in case we have a case. We have also been able to retrofit office spaces to give each person approximately 36 square feet of office space to be able to have persons feel safe when they're at work. We have adjusted our timetable so that we only have a small portion of our students on property at any given time. And all of this costs a lot of money. I am a little concerned about maintenance because everything that you buy, Dervan, would need to be maintained. And so we know that our maintenance budget has tripled in the past 18 months. So these are some practical things that we are now grappling with as we go about doing this blended approach of having some kids at school, some students at home. Let's not talk internet, because Flo is now quoting me a bill of about 800 US to 1200 US a month for high speed internet for one property. And I may have to find a way to run fiber optic cable from Ocho Rios into Mansfield to just have internet access at my other campus. Right now, we use a residential line. So these are some very practical challenges that we're having.
But is there an arrangement, a protocol, a system, a procedure with respect to schools and internet service? For example, whatever happened to the e-learning initiative?
E-learning was about hardwiring physical spaces at that time. Thank you very much to e-learning for providing us with 3 physical lab spaces on our senior campus. However, remember, I'm not sure if the public is aware, but our junior campus in Ocho Rios was originally built as a primary school. And so there was no physical infrastructure to offer the high school curriculum. So we're having to retrofit that space by creating labs to service all our state areas. I'm very happy to say that the Ministry of Education's leadership team is conscious, very aware, very sensitive to the challenges that we're facing on the ground, and where some principals have been able to include an ICT fee as a part of the contribution package. Some schools, such as mine, that has about 68% of our population on pass, and then we have a 22% that is on what we call school-based welfare and support programs. We just are not able to have our parents afford to be able to pay much more. 54% of our parents have been unemployed.
One moment, please. We're speaking with Aniona Jones, Mrs. Aniona Jones, principal of Marcus Garvey Technical High School. We're learning a lot on this week's edition of Kids Connect.
Let there be peace on earth, the peace that
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First San in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First San team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First San in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First San Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
This is Kids Connect during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm online, the principal of Marcus Garvey Technical High School, Mrs. Aniona Jones, giving us another look at and another example of one of our educational institutions, this time in rural Jamaica, in the Garden Parish of St. Anne. 3 campuses and all kinds of issues to deal with. The fact of the undereducation of our young people or children from the primary level and then entering high school and needing remedial work. Issues to do with the socioeconomic challenges in the homes from which these students come. 60% of them are on the PATH program, the program of advancement through health and education. And then there are parents and guardians who, with the best of intentions, are just not able to assist the school or their students, the school through their charges, their children. And so the school is called upon, whatever limited resources it already has, depleted or otherwise, to be creative. And it sounds like you and your team have been very creative in finding solutions to the problems that have popped up at different times whether in the past or especially since the onset of COVID-19, Mrs. Jones?
That we grapple with. For instance, we have 330 children at the ninth grade. I just stepped out of a meeting where we're looking at a learning intervention that we're dubbing Jumpstart. Firstly, to find about 100 of them. And then when we look at the data, we have 168 children who have not been online from last year, March. Put that in context. A child would have done 5 months of grade 8. Come September 2021, will be expected to go into grade 10. What do we do?
Grade 10 or grade 9?
Grade 10.
10.
Because we cannot max have 168 children repeat the grade 9 program.
Oh, no.
So these are some of the very practical realities that when you look at, the traditional ranking of schools, when you think about those schools that are grappling with dealing with the deficit, because remember, you do have grade students who went to half of grade 4, have not been in grade 5, that need to go into grade 6. Half of grade 5, really not online for grade 6, but will need to go to high school come September. And they may end up at Marcus Garvey Technical High School. And we value the worth and the talent and the potential of every child placed in our care. But we do have to prepare adequately for them by ensuring that we have several remedial programs to get them ready to access the high school. And remember, CXC does not change its paper, doesn't change its standard. It might move it back for a few months, but CXC will test what it will test. Yes. So this is the reality that many school leaders are faced with right now.
In order of priority, what would you identify as the needs of Marcus Garvey Technical High School right now, just in case there are past students listening to us at home and abroad who have been trying to find a way to give back to their alma mater, just in case there are corporate entities along the North Coast who would be interested in making a contribution to the further development of Marcus Garvey Technical High School, just in case the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information are listening, although at some point they would have been brought into the loop and given some kind of report on how things have been going. But those priority areas, what would those be?
Very quickly, we can't have blended learning with ingredients missing. If children are unable to access online learning, they're going to have significant gaps. It could be that they have phones and need data plans. We also have students who don't have a device, whether a smartphone, a tablet, nothing in their household. Secondly, we do need to facilitate for blended learning, teachers being able to deliver lessons face-to-face and stream those online because we have to reduce class sizes. And so high-speed internet and the recurring monthly cost, I cannot find over $250,000 every single month to have my teachers at school teaching and have sufficient bandwidth so that they can also stream online. Mansfield campus in Ocho Rios, assistance with fiber optic cables to run that to the campus so that we can keep up with the standards being set by our pace setters in education. These schools really killing it. Again, big up to my colleagues who've been able to do all of that. And for the others in the same boat as myself, data plans, definitely devices. And you know what, Dervan? Technical assistance. People who are good at curriculum development, for example, who can help us to write remedial programs, write booklets that can go home with the children so the children can essentially teach themselves while they're at home. These are some practical ways in which I find that $5 to $20 can keep a child online for between 2 weeks to a month. And use device, maybe used for you, but for them it's brand new and opens a world of opportunities. And of course, help us to keep the internet on our physical campus when the teachers come in, teach some students face-to-face, and would also like to be able to be accessible to the children who are at home and online.
All things considered, how would you characterize the progress and the quality of the output from the students themselves?
I got a teacher to show me some of the projects that her students at grade 7 and 8 were doing. This child made a cardboard chair at home that could bear my 220 pounds of fabulousness. I have students who are creating 3D models of track and field, stadiums. I have students cooking 3-course meals. I have 5 scholarship offers as a result of an internship of less than 2 weeks where children is given the chance to demonstrate their potential and show how fantastic they are. I have teachers who are learning TikTok, making videos, writing storyboards, launching YouTube channels, and they are doing it while they're raising their families, while they're supporting each other, while it is that they are being a part of strategic planning for our schools. So all in all, we've managed to get schools online with IT integration. We've promoted project-based learning. They're having the children be a bit more independent. Parents are in the classrooms while they're cooking, cleaning, and they're really seeing what we're doing. And of course, we have the nation that's still holding us accountable for delivering high quality education, and it is motivating us like the wind beneath our wings to grow as educators as we keep these children learning. Just help us to get them online, get them doing the printed work, and of course, in the blended model, just help us to keep them safe. My last plug-in, Dervan, do you know that it costs almost $120,000 every fortnight for hand sanitizer, alcohol, bleach, and so on to keep the doors open?
No, that's serious.
It's principals are struggling, board chairmen are struggling. The Ministry of Education is aware and they're trying to have strategic conversations. The corporate Jamaica, when Dr. Cassandra, Dr. McLean, or honorable ministers, when they knock on your door and really ask you to consider your prices, your costs, the grants, the partnerships, please understand that we're doing this for the nation's children and for our own development as a country.
Yes, we're seeing some feedback coming in. Dainty Walker in Bermuda says, the principal is such a forward thinker. She then goes on to ask us to ask for contact info for people who want to contribute to the school. What's the best approach that they would need to take in making a contribution towards the tremendous efforts you and your team have been engaged in at Marcus Garvey Technical High School?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I may be reached at 876-790-9696. If you go into Google and you type in Marcus Garvey Technical High School, you will find us through our website, Facebook page, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. We are all over social media. And of course, mgarveytech@yahoo.com. Again, just type in Marcus Garvey Tech into Google and it will take you directly to our school's website or any of our social media pages. And thank you so much. I have teachers writing programs to automate certificates being done by the click of a button. And these are not teachers of IT. They're teaching themselves how to be phenomenal because a teacher who can do more, can give more, and can stimulate more in our children. So I can't leave Dervan without saying thank you so much to my ancillary staff who clean every room every time a teacher leaves that room and puts up the unsanitized sign from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day. We've never had to close our doors. To our administrative staff and the 110 amazing teachers of the Marcus Garvey Technical High School, you continue to be the answer to the prayers of so many families who want their kids to do well.
Before you go, though, have you had any instances of COVID-19?
Like everybody else, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not among our students.
Not among the students?
No. What we do find is that, for instance, our adults who have to deal with the other adults in the environment tend to be a little bit susceptible. So handing out checks, being able to treat with visitors to the property. So we have had that kind of an exposure. We've managed to keep our students COVID free, and we are very happy for that. We've not had a teacher test positive. However, our administrative staff, that is our front line between the school and the public, those are the persons that we have had to double secure again by making sure that we change how they work and the physical environment to keep them increasingly safe.
Yes, indeed. And as we wrap, why are you giving so much of your time and your energy to Marcus Garvey Technical High School? Surely you could have found opportunities at other institutions elsewhere in Jamaica, and I dare say the world.
Been there and done that. I was in the Ministry of Education. I was a senior school inspector. I was an education officer. Dervan, you know where I started as a youngster with you and Tony Lang, where I learned the value of having a story and a voice. I've also worked overseas as a principal of a private international school. And what I am learning at Marcus Garvey Technical High School, I have not learned in any of those spaces. And it is how to look into the face of children who look like me, who the world would like to forget, and know that they matter, that they were created on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. And I get to be on the frontline duty with other amazing professionals. We are the last line of defense for the children who the world would like to forget. We get them to learn faster, do more, so that they can adequately compete and take up their rightful place as Jamaicans. We're continuing on the legacy of the right excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We know who we are. We know that we're valuable. We know we're co-creators with God. We have one God, one aim, and our destiny is to continue to pursue excellence for ourselves, our students, and our community. It's God's work. It's good work, and we worship through our work.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mrs. Aniona Jones. For adding value to this afternoon's edition of Kids Connect here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM will be in touch. We see some positive feedback coming through. Rose in London is happy for the information on how to contribute to Marcus Garvey High School. Watch out for some of those contributions. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4:01 on Power 106.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在 TDN 了4点01分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Good afternoon to Jennifer Stewart, Q Road, Kencott. She says, hi, Patsy Leslie. Kevin Dunk is asking, are there metrics being used to gauge how remote learning is stacking up against in-classroom learning? Will we see any negative impact on remote learning students down the road? Pertinent questions. Sorry, we weren't able to get those into Mrs. Aniona Jones, principal of Marcus Garvey Technical High School. What we do know is that the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has in the past, in the recent past, engaged the services of the Mona Geoinformatics Institute, and they are very good with matrices, and they would have played their part in providing certain data to the ministry, which would have informed the ministry's decisions with respect to the reopening of certain schools for in-class learning or face-to-face learning. So there is that. And we would expect that even as we speak, the experiences of the educational institutions across the country that are open, that those experiences are being documented. Thank you for your message. Sound, solid questions. Kevin Dunk, all the best to you. Let's clear some more messages from the other platforms here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. On WhatsApp, we have some messages. Did we finish this one? There was a bit more from the person who messaged us about opening hours for businesses in Jamaica. Why, to me, all business places should open and then close early. Should open and then close early? I don't understand. Sounds like you're contradicting yourself. Why trash bins don't put on sidewalks where people can throw their garbage? None in Halfway Tree and all over the country. Local government responsibility. But here's the thing, and we perhaps need to study some more why so many of our people have become so depraved, where they would see a vessel, a garbage receptacle, and dump their waste beside the receptacle or in the vicinity of the receptacle. And why would they unhinge bolted bins from their moorings to, why? Why do we have so many of our people who are prepared to vandalize garbage receptacles? So many prepared not to use the garbage receptacles. That's another side of the story. It's one thing to put garbage receptacles or waste receptacles in public spaces. It's another thing for people to actually use them in this country, and another thing for them to remain in place unless or until they have to be emptied, and if the emptying them requires moving them from that space and then obviously replacing them. Why are so many of our people so depraved? We used to be known as a tidy people, people who are clean, people who believe in cleanliness. We always recite it on this program. We get up in the mornings, we say our prayers, we read our Bible, we make up our beds, or spread, as we say, spread up the bed in Jamaica. Yeah, we spread the bed. We sweep out the room, and then that might extend depending on the size of the home. That might extend to other rooms, or maybe one other, or straight into the yard. So from sweeping up the house, sweeping the house, or mopping the floor, depending on the nature of the dwelling, to sweeping up the yard, your front yard, your backyard, your side yard. And after that, you might find yourself sweeping up the area within the precincts of where you live, because people driving past or walking past would dispose irresponsibly dispose of their waste in the area. So many factors to be considered. When did we get to this place? How did we get here as a people? Maureen Evans Design in New York, listening to you, Sir Dervan, very concerned about the crime situation. We are all very concerned. But how many of us are prepared to play our part in solving some of these crimes and helping to reduce the level of fear in this country? There are those of us who are in positions so to do, but instead we prefer the other way, which is to antagonize our people. So we have had modern day slave drivers in this country who are Jamaicans. And we're not talking in the corporate world necessarily. We're talking about people who are holding communities hostage, or people who communities allow to hold them hostage. But them want to run community. And them want turn area leader. Move from here with that. Let's move on. This one says, blessings, Sir D. Happy Peace Day. But my peace for you, not only for today alone, but always. You educate people far and wide. God truly bless you. Sir D, people who are going to get COVID vaccine, are they all sick people? Please educate me. Or patients? Well, the idea is to stop the hemorrhaging, stop the bleeding, in a manner of speaking, which means those who are falling prey to the COVID-19 virus and are doing so at a rate that our hospitals are having a difficulty keeping up with, we want to help those as quickly as possible. So that definitely, there are those. But we also want to help those who are helping those of us who are falling as a result of COVID-19. So that's another critical group. And then there are others who have to police our communities and our public places. And we could go on and on and on, different layers. But we want to help the most vulnerable first, or those who are most exposed to the virus first. Those who are most exposed, those who are most vulnerable as a result of conditions like heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, etc., etc. So that's the general thinking. And this person says, yes, lady, it's true. He is my next prime minister. I wonder who she's referring to. Winji in Brownstown, St. Anne says, condolences to Winji and family from Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne, who lost her grandmother, coming from her best friend, Marcia, from Liberty Valley. Condolences to Winji and family from Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne, who lost her grandmother, coming from her best friend, Marcia, from Liberty Valley. Condolences, Winji. All the best. Here's a message we got to convey. Today is Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis's aunt's birthday. Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis in Coconut Creek, Florida. Her aunt's birthday is today. Her aunt's name is Hortense Barnes, and she now resides in Malton Robbins Hall. That's the home community of Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis. And Dr. Adamson Lewis's aunt lived in New York at one stage as well. And we gather she's an avid listener to both sides of the story and the Jamaican diaspora live online. Thank you so much. And happy birthday. But I'm not seeing her name here, Dr. Rose. What did I do with her name? Or did I read her name just now? Yes, I did. Yeah. Hortense Barnes. Happy birthday, Hortense Barnes, from your niece, Dr. Rose Marie Adamson Lewis in Coconut Creek, Florida. More messages popping up. Those in the diaspora, take note that Jamaica's ambassador to the United States, Her Excellency Audrey Marks, Ambassador Audrey Marks, will be hosting a session on Thursday evening at 7. Let's connect with Ambassador Marks is the caption on this e-flyer we're looking at. Join Jamaica's ambassador to the United States Thursday, the 4th of March, 7 p.m. for a live chat on Zoom. Click on the link below to sign up, it says. Let me try clicking and see what happens. Well, it's JamaicaConnect.org. JamaicaConnect.org. What a lovely picture of Ambassador Marks here. Very nice. Very nice. So this session is on Thursday the 4th, a live chat on Zoom with Jamaica's ambassador to the United States. Take note, 7 o'clock Thursday evening. Can we clear some more messages? Oops, look at the time.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Your taxes.
Experience the convenience of this tax season. File and pay your final income tax return for 2020 and estimated return for 2021 due on March 15 with tax support in so many ways using our web services, Customer Service Center 888 Tax Help, or Special Taxpayer Assistance Program. Tutorials available online at jamaicatax.gov.jm. All income tax returns, including individual, must be filed online with more options to pay. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:17. 现在几点了？4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Hello to Sharon Belcher, listening from the UK. After regular listener, the late Spencer Muirhead recommended. Well, we honor the memory of the late Spencer Muirhead for putting you on to us. Sharon Belcher in the UK, thank you very much for your message. Hello as well to Dainty Walker, who is in fact in Jamaica. She lives in Bermuda these days, but she is in Jamaica. She's home. And Ivy Lismay says, very good work. Is this a private school? Please put information out. No, it is a public school. It's Marcus Garvey Technical High School. Easy to find. Marcus Garvey Technical High School. That's the school we featured this afternoon on Kids Connect with Principal Mrs. Aniona Jones. Verna Winter says, I love your show. Well, thank you very much, Verna Winter. Ivy Lismay says, amen, amen. Marveline O'Connor says, great, will contribute. Alicia Duncanson says, absolutely in agreement. My grandma has the diabetes along with other illnesses. They should get the vaccine first. She's listening to you live. Please shout her out for me. Her name is Mrs. Imogen Farron. She love you bad, bad. Well, hello to you, Mrs. Imogen Farron. Every time I hear that name, I remember an ad that Oliver did some time ago. Imo, you say like how your sister Dasa pregnant, I hope she eating a lot of cheese. Cause according to the doctor them, cheese good for the body. Oh, you mean how I know that? Me's an intelligent smaddy, and it's because I eating cheese all these years make me so strapping. Make me take peace. No, so what? The cheese done, you never remember for buy more. I'm a Jean. How much time I must tell you? When you go to shop, don't forget the cheese. Yeah, that's the ad. My head works like that sometimes. Right. So hello, Mrs. Imogen Farron. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for being an avid listener. Dr. Rosemary Adamson Lewis confirms her aunt's name is Hortense Barnes. Once again, happy birthday, Hortense Barnes. Tiny Beckles in Toronto, Canada, welcome. Vivette Malcolm, our long-serving colleague here at Poro 106 FM, says, receptacles are placed all over Jamaica. In Spanish Town, where I go to do business, sometimes people refuse to use them. The people have become progressively nasty. This untidiness is also manifested in the way some carry themselves. SMH, shake my head. Thanks for your message, Vivette Malcolm, on Facebook Live. Let's go to our guest who has been waiting in the wings before we clear some more messages on our WhatsApp platform. Let's go to our guest waiting in the wings, as we said. She is Petan Henry, and I'm just double checking that. I think, I beg your pardon, it's Petri Ann. I knew something was missing there. Petri Ann Henry, Public Relations and Communications Manager at Food for the Poor. Hello, Petri Ann. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon. I'm good. Thank you, Dervan, and hello to all your listeners as well.
Great. Thank you so much. It's great to have you on board here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. There's a Jamaican expression that has been in use since the onset of COVID-19, Tana Your Yard.
Yes.
No, you've had a Tana Your Yard campaign at Food for the Poor, but perhaps of a different texture. Tell us about it.
A different texture is true. In March, when the pandemic hit our shores, we were advised and encouraged to tan your yard, in order to contain the spread. all citizens were encouraged to stay at home. But being in the community and seeing a lot of the needs of our citizens, we know that many of them didn't have a yard or a home to stay, or even if they did, it wasn't in a state that would encourage, proper hygiene and so on.
That's quite
And
something,
so,
though, if I could just
yes,
pause there, because can
yes,
you imagine telling somebody to go home or to stay home and
right.
there is no home to go to and there is no home to stay?
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, go
And
ahead.
that's how we came up with the tagline and the campaign, the Tanaya Yard initiative, where we would appeal to Jamaicans and corporate Jamaica to support us by donating hoses to help persons, contain the spread of the virus. And that's how that all came about.
Donating houses. Now, I wish I could, but I'm not in no position to donate a house.
Right?
Give us a sense of how people were, the support that you've been getting, and how that support has manifested itself in terms of the donations. How?
All right. So, as I said, we appealed and we continue to appeal. Persons and corporate Jamaica, different organizations, they have assisted us with whether a house for a recipient or houses. And in fact, last year we got up to 20, and then boom, through Wisinco came on board and gave us another 10 houses. So now we're up to 30 houses that we are constructing for persons under this campaign. So even if persons don't have one house, for example, the funding for one house,
Yes.
you can contribute what you have, Dervan. You can give what you can. The widow's mite. Any amount you can give, and then it will go towards constructing a house for a needy recipient.
And as we say in Jamaica, every mickle make a muckle.
Every mickle, every
Yes.
mickle, yes.
Well,
That's what we live at Food for the Poor.
And Food for the Poor has been doing this forever. I mean, you've just mentioned 32 houses, but surely you've built many more over the years, haven't you?
A whole lot more, and not just in Jamaica. I mean, speaking we've built many houses. We operate in 17 countries. So we have done thousands of houses just across these 17 countries. And in Jamaica, say for the last 3 years, we've done over 1,500 houses. So this is not new to us.
Yes.
We continue to build houses, but
And
we wanted it to be relevant to
Yes.
COVID. Yeah.
Right. And it's not some little catch up place we're talking. I we're just
No,
talking
man.
it straight.
Proper structure.
Proper. Yes.
Proper.
Mhm.
Yes, very proper. I mean, it's a 2-bedroom structure. Most people would see it out there, a 2-bedroom structure.
Mhm.
It comes with a kitchenette area, and it comes with a bathroom. We also equip our houses with the proper sanitary conveniences, the septic tanks, the water tanks, and we also give our recipients a stove. And this is basically our starter home. There's a loft included in the construction, and a lot of times the recipients, we put a mattress up there, and the children would feel like they have their own space, kind of thing. Yes, they feel very independent, and it also comes with a solar panel for light. I would say light provision of electricity to do certain things.
Lovely. So for those listening to us, and I'm sure there are those who perhaps would love to get the attention of Food for the Poor. When when we were going to school, and we'd say, "Me miss, me miss." Yeah.
Yes,
I'm sure
yes.
there are those going, "Me miss, me miss." On what basis? What determines who you help and who you get houses for? Are there particular things those in the general public need to know about the process of Food for the Poor building them a house?
Well, definitely. Let me start with the first point. It must be needed. I mean, there are many cases out there, but there must be an established need. And once we establish that need, the recipient would also require to have land in order for us to put the houses on. Because while we may have the funding from our generous donors, we don't have land. So that's another component to our appeal, even through this interview. If persons have land that they can donate to the poor, because sometimes they are not in a position to have it, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will definitely assign that property to somebody who is in need. So once the need is established, once they have land and the relevant documentation to show that the land, whether it belongs to them or they've been given permission to build on it or they've leased it, then the ball starts rolling and we can get things done.
And for those who have been moved by the work of Food for the Poor and would like to make their contribution, once again, tell us how we can contribute to the Tanner Your Yard campaign.
Well, you can definitely, you can check out our website. All the donation information is there. We also have an email address, marketingpr@foodforthepoorja.org, or you can call us at 984-5005, and we'll be happy to talk with you more about this campaign and about what you can do to help our less fortunate brothers and sisters.
Well, this is great work. We congratulate you, Peter and Henry, and the team at Food for the Poor for the service, the public service that you've been offering, not just here in Jamaica, but elsewhere in the world. Well done.
Yes, thank you so much. And can I just say thanks to all our donors?
Sure, if you want to call some names too, no problem.
Yes, we want to thank all our donors, just overall, generally, with housing and all our other programs. We thank all our sponsors, partners, and even the prayers that persons have prayed in support of this ministry. And we definitely want to thank Boom right now for their donation of 10 houses. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary in 2020, right? Mm-hmm. And they decided to give 10 houses to the poor. I think that is significant and worthy of mention. So, yes, we just want to thank all our donors. And our staff members too, Dervan. Yes. They do the work. Mm-hmm. So we thank them as well.
Wonderful. We thank you for gracing this afternoon's edition of both sides of the story with your presence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and all the very best to the team. Petrianne Henry, Public Relations and Communication Manager at Food for the Poor.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
There be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在地点了5点加29分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM. Looks like a tweet here from Damian Mitchell about an hour ago. Major fire in Holland Bamboo, St. Elizabeth. Expect traffic delays. We're sorry to hear that. The Holland Bamboo area was already depleted. This fire is going to exacerbate the situation. Sorry to hear that. Thanks for that breaking news update, although we missed it when it was first posted an hour ago. So it is. Trust that all is well. And the policeman in that viral video, apparently, his interdiction has gone viral as well. The Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson has given directions that the policeman seen in a viral video in a compromising position on social media be interdicted with immediate effect. We have to be so careful with social media. But even before social media, can we keep our, well, can, can we practice a greater level of personal management? Manage ourselves a little better? What our hands do, what our lips speak, where our feet go. Remember that little song in basic school? Watch your hands, what they do, don't do. Watch. What? You remember that? Yeah. Some of us take these things for granted. These gems were all a part of our socialization. But people say, old time, some people, out of ignorance perhaps, a whole time something that. Different time now. Yeah. Oh, right. We have the actual document here now from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It's a lot of data. And on our own, in our own time, we'll go through the data. In the meantime, we don't want to finish today's program without clearing these messages. Whoa, they're growing. Let's go to this one. Mr. Malcolm, you say the state of emergency should be used in an emergency. No, I didn't say that. I said that the Constitution allows, the Constitution of Jamaica allows the state to act in the event of an emergency. So it's a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing from, you see, because I love words and I'm always, almost every second of the day, checking the meaning of words and using words carefully, these things tend to jump out at me very quickly. So I didn't say that. Anyway, your message goes on to say, so with all the murders and crimes taking place in the country, do you think there is an emergency in Jamaica? Well, we've been saying this for a long time, that Jamaica, remember from time to time, we quote the late Oliver Clark in his interview with Wilmot Mutty Perkins when Oliver Clark was president of the private sector organization of Jamaica, when he said, when Mr. Perkins said, Mr. Clark, don't you think Jamaica is in a crisis? And Mr. Clark's response was, Mutty, as far as I can remember, Jamaica has always been in a crisis. So we have been in a crisis situation for a long time. We have been in an emergency situation for a long time. But we still have this attitude, too many of us, and it's understandable in some respects because we want this thing to end right now. Let's just do whatever we can to get rid of crime right now. But it doesn't work that way. That's not how, no, you can't fix in a day, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, that which has been entrenched. Note the use of the word entrenched. So you're going to have to do some serious excavation to get us out of this hole we've been in for so long. And so it requires management of the highest order and a people who are sufficiently cognizant of that fact that it's not an overnight fix. And it will never ever be an overnight fix. That's not how it works. You identify the problem, you dissect it, you you use the data, scientific, meticulous, design oriented, and you, arising out of that, come up with a strategy or an emergency plan, a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, and you work from there and keep working and make sure that you have built into that which you are configuring a level of institutional resilience, which means the institution will outlast and outlive, in a manner of speaking, whoever is appointed to lead that organization. That's the kind of work that needs to be done. That no matter who occupies certain positions, whether police commissioner or chief of defense staff, that the institution is so sound, is so solid, is so resilient that somebody moving on, the leadership moving on, does not weaken fundamentally the institution. There's a thing called capacity building, etc., etc. Don't want to belabor that point, but thank you for your message. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. The politicians should be at the back of the line, please, and thanks. Keep it moving, please. And that's in reference to the vaccines. This one says, I think we read, is this our colleague? Yes, we read this message already. Let's go to H. Morgan in Birmingham. Good afternoon, sir. I had to asking the same question I asked several times. When did we get to this stage? Yet when I point out the negative things that is going on, you turn it away from the reality and push the maybe. You see, the problem is, H. Morgan in Birmingham, you think it is about you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's not about you. And I go a step further. It's not about me either. It is not. It certainly is not. So if you would just extricate yourself from the subject and focus on the subject itself, you'd perhaps not make the kind of mistakes you're making in pushing forward your argument. It's like people who put themselves in the news. We really are not supposed to put ourselves in the news. We're supposed to present the news or report the news, not put ourselves in it. Right? So H. Morgan, it's not about you, neither is it about me. Anyway, the rest of the message. And watch the accusations as well, please. Because as I said, I pay very keen attention to words and the use of words. And I know what I have said or not said, and what I have done and not done. I don't want to accuse you of being other than you are. So be very careful. Make sure when you're going to point that finger and come with accusations that you are standing on a solid foundation. Otherwise, the muse's wing shall brush you away. As the piece goes from Alexander Pope. Jamaica was not in this position 20 years ago. Yes, Jamaica was in this position 20 years ago. Maybe you weren't living here 20 years ago, but Jamaica was in this position 20 years ago, H. Morgan. So if you have just arrived at this place, welcome to Jamrock. If you have just arrived at this place, H. Morgan. But we have been here. And we continue to be here. Right. And just as well, the screen, okay, went awry for a moment there. I love Jamaica, but some today Jamaicans are bringing the lovely country into disrepute, and something must be done. I share with you the conditions at KPH and the UA hospital, and you say they have done a lot to upgrade. They have. So when was the last time you were at KPH or University Hospital of the West Indies? That's the point. You see, it cannot be when information doesn't find favor with you and your position that you want to turn over the tables in the temple because you want everything, you want the tide to be flowing your way. No Sankey, no sing Sir H. Morgan in Birmingham. Facts are facts. I try my best to read as much as I can and to get the facts in relation to our institutions and our issues. And I spend a lot of time combing through the archives as well. So I know what I'm saying. Anyway, the message goes on. But when I spoke to two workers there today, the situation there, especially at the KPH, is as grim as before. And you spoke to two workers today. It's not about me. It's the reality, Mr. Malcolm. It's the reality, not about me. Well, you've already made it about you, H. Morgan. So that undermines everything else, H. Morgan. Oh, what time is it? Who is this? Winji says, I'm listening you from 2007. That's a long time ago. Thank you very much, Winji, in Retreat, Brownstown, St. Anne. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
The February 5 off 50 sales event at Home and Things is here. Take $5 off every $50 you spend. Save big on the brands you know and trust. From beautiful Spanish and Brazilian tiles to exquisite bathroom fixtures from Sedosa, American Standard and Corona. Stylish Moen and American Standard faucets. Doors, windows, paints, and home decor treasures that inspires beauty and elegance. It's the February 5 off 50 sales event happening now at Home and Things. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Catch it while it lasts.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First and in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First and team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First and in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First and Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
In perfect harmony, let peace begin with.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Que hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点加14分。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Good afternoon. Rose McIntosh says, thanks for the information. How to contribute to Marcus Garvey Technical High School. Kevin Dunk says, should Food for the Poor develop an app where people can donate their change to the organization? It is called Tap Up. Kevin Dunk says, it was not his lips speaking. Them say his lips were doing something that is very taboo in Jamaica, in reference to the policeman who has been interdicted for being on camera in a compromising position. Rose in London says, I remember so well, Dervan. Kevin Dunk says, but how will such a transformation or bifurcation from the Jamaican entrenched culture change what Jamaica is known for? Jamaica is a very liberal society and many people come here just for that. But we still have to have laws and regulations and systems and rules. Otherwise, we'll have chaos. Rose, of course, there are those who would argue, but situation is chaotic as it is now anyway. Kevin Dong says Jamaica tourist industry is built around Jamaica. Anything goes, liberalism and hedonistic culture. No doubt the stakeholders would argue otherwise, but we know that there's that and more in our tourism sector. Let's go to the WhatsApp line, same as the text line, which also is treated like a straight line by some of our listeners, including our next caller. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
I was listening and watching the 7 o'clock news on TV today. And there was an item there about the case in front of the Privy Council. And I thought I heard somebody said that although donation is not illegal in the Netherlands, but not reporting it is illegal. Did I hear right?
Yeah, let me see if I can help you there. Just a moment. That was, what's his name? Well, I don't remember the news presenter's name. What's his name? Herman Green, is that it? I think. This is, listen.
Dutch firms are not prohibited from making donations to foreign political parties, but they must disclose those gifts.
So he did read that in the story, but oddly enough, the Gleaner story on the matter tells us that the donation to a foreign to a political party, whether in a foreign country, is illegal. The Observer told us that as well. And there was another source where I saw the information. And I'm sorry you've called us so late, because I had planned to find out from a lawyer or someone with that knowledge what the situation was. That's why I recorded this last night. At this stage I won't be able to check it out. But you heard correctly, but there seems to be some contradiction or misinformation, because it's the first time ever that I am hearing this.
Right, I was shocked.
Yes.
Because I said all of these years this case has been going on, and the impression was given that it was illegal.
Well, obviously
so
it wouldn't.
I'm not jumping to any conclusion.
No, but obviously something would have to be wrong for it to be in the court right now.
No, and what they said was it is not illegal for any company to give donation. But what is illegal is for you not reporting it to the authority.
Yeah, well, either way, as I said, first time I'm hearing this, and you obviously hearing it for the first time as well. Either way, something was out of place. So if it turns out, because I'm so sorry I didn't get to check this today. I'd planned to do it. Pity you called so late. You would have reminded me had you called earlier. But if it turns out that it is not illegal unless you don't report it, then clearly Traffic Guru didn't report it, and that would have given the authorities reason to want to investigate.
Well, my problem with that is, Edie,
yes,
our government had gone so far as to enact a new law so that the Jamaican nationals could have been pulled in front of the court, and they were saying it was illegal, period, and that is my problem. Anyway,
it needs to be cleared up. I'm going to follow. Right. I'm just so sorry I missed the opportunity today, because I had planned to deal with it today. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Just one other thing. I was listening to your station, and somebody was speaking to Mr. Shaw, and
who's that? Stephen Shaw?
In the morning.
Stephen Shaw.
Right.
Yes.
And I heard him said that there is some agreement with NHT.
Uh-oh, don't tell me. Go ahead.
And I was given the impression that the Water Commission, they didn't say it was a loan. I heard him mention that an amount of over 37 million was given to build culvert.
Hold on. Money was given from where?
NHT, they have gotten at least one program. He had gotten 37 million, and I think it was more than one. And there is disagreement in place. What I want to know is it that they're taking money out of NHT funds to give it to the Water Commission or whatever, Water Commission or the
Works Agency.
Work. Yes. This is something I want to know.
No, I've never heard of that one before. Again, you've given me some homework here to do.
Right. It was a discussion program with a young lady, Mr. Shaw, on the program before.
Morning Agenda.
Yes.
With Jody and Quarry. Yes.
Anyway, I'll let you go.
No, thank you for that. I'm going to follow up.
I have some more things, but I'll let you go. All right.
All right. No problem.
Okay, Dervan. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Here are some more messages. Herman Bowie Bailey says, Mr. Malcolm, wonderful school in reference to Marcus Garvey Technical High School, which was featured earlier on Kids Connect. 3 of my daughters went to Marcus Garvey, and my granddaughter is going now. Beautiful teachers. Well, supporting what we have heard. Lorraine Brown says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and how is the gentleman today? Good afternoon, Lorraine Brown. We're still giving thanks for life. And you? Ivy Liz May says, the government should be helping. God bless her and the team. Food for the poor. Well, the government will tell you they have an indigent housing program. And there is also another housing, what do they call it? There's a term for it, which has been criticized by some quarters because of the circumstances. What do they call those? Social housing or something like that? Yeah, there's that too. Vusimuzi Ozent says, our God is indeed a great God for putting a smile on my face. And since we have seen this message before and we know what that is, somebody is trying to promote an individual who claims to have found some cure for HIV/AIDS. And every now and then they send us a message. Well, that's as much as we will read of your message, because it's just the way we do things here. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 2nd of March, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Moment now, with every step I take, Let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as a Father, brothers all agreed. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with you.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful.